Hey everybody, and welcome back to Cam's Flies. I'm Cam, and today we're going to be tying the Midge cluster, originally tied by Gretchen Beatty. This pattern is another pattern from the Federation of Fly Fishers Fly Pattern Encyclopedia. Here's one I tied up earlier. We'll get started. With the hooks, we're going to be using the SF fly hooks, or I'm using the SF fly hooks in a size 18. Dry fly hook, fine wire. Get our hook situated in our vise. Go ahead and mash down your barb. And for our thread, I'm using a UTC 70 denier in the color black. Got it spooled up on my trusty Norvise bobbin. And get my thread started on the back of the hook, just at the hook point. Cut the excess thread out of the way. For the hackle, we'll be using a size 18 Grizzly hackle. This is from Whiting Farms. So I'll be securing the hackle on the far back side of where my thread ends, just after the hook barb. And next we'll be tying in some Peacock Herl. The Herl that I use is up near the eye of the feather. These feathers are a little bit finer. The quills are finer. They wrap up on your smaller dry flies a little bit better. Not so much bulk with the finer material, or the finer feathers don't have so much bulk to them for the dry flies. We'll get that secured in place. Get a close up on what I'm doing. Secure your thread. If you're gonna use your rotary function, or throw it on the bobbin cradle, so that way things don't unravel on you. So I just go over the area where I laid my first bit of a thread base on the hook. Moving the Peacock Herl to just about the hook point is where I end tying in my Peacock Herl. We'll get that secured in place. I brush my peacock barbules backwards, trying to not trap too many of them as I'm securing this strand in place. Clip the excess out of the way and make sure you secure it so your Peacock Herl doesn't unwind on you, like the part I edited out earlier. And now I can work my hackle forward, working it through the peacock try to do closed touching wraps. It just comes out looking a bit better, and it can be hard. I was struggling a bit here trying to get it to lay down just right when you're laying it down over the peacock quill. And now we'll get the hackle secured in place without trapping too many fibers. You can brush the feather fibers back just like I did with peacock Herl barbules. Once you get it tied in place, secured, you can snip your excess out of the way. And if you have some stray feather fibers, you can go ahead and lock those things down, cover them up, and just kind of beautify the fly. And I like to build up a bit of a middle section here on my fly. There's really no need to. You can even throw a hot spot on here. I think I might do that on my next video. And do one with a hot spot. And just like we did with the back, we're doing the same thing up front. We're just building a little cluster with the peacock and hackle wrapped. Wrap the peacock and then wrap your hackle right over the peacock, and gives it that cool cluster effect. Secured your thread in place with a half hitch. Get your peacock wrapped around the hook shank just behind the hook eye. I like to come in with a tool to hold that thing in place so that way I can use both hands to kind of maneuver around my peacock Herl with my thread wraps, my securing wraps. Do your best to get at least a little half hitch going there. Clip your excess peacock out of the way. One more little half hitch, actually two more, I'd take that back. Set it on your bobbin cradle, and now I will proceed to wrap my hackle through my peacock up to my hook eye. It's hard to get this hackle wrapped up and secured without trapping too many fibers sometimes, and you'll see that I have a few that get trapped up under my hook eye, but I let them go, and there's a couple techniques you can do to remove those things after the fact. I'll show you one that I used after I get this secured in place and clipped out of the way. Throw on a couple whip finishes. I use my nails here to kind of make sure the thread isn't crowding my hook eye. And here you see I bring in my cauterizing tool, and then It does a good job at getting rid of any errant fibers that may just not be agreeing with you. And then you come in after with a little bit of UV glue or some head cement. Here I'm using some Loon Flow. This stuff sinks into the thread pretty well, the Hackle, and locks everything in place beautifully. You just zap it, you're good to go. So here is the Midge cluster. I think it's a fairly easy tie that anyone could give a shot doing. It's a great little dry fly midge. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. I enjoyed tying it. If you did like it, hit that like button, and I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. I appreciate every last bit of support. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Tight lines.